I decided that um, I'm not going to do a stream during the debate. I think, for one, I don't want to risk the copyright issues, right? And two, I think it would be distracting. Like, I don't think we can attenuate both live streaming and listening to the debate. Just, as a matter of, you know, my nerdiness coming in and remembering, divided attention like that, or trying to attenuate between looking at the debate and having a conversation live during the debate. It's not going to do well. It will be just as annoying as like trying to watch a new movie, right? And people asking you questions at the same time about the movie while it's going on. So I'm going to do this up until the debate starts. Then we're going to end this stream. So for right now, I said, this is going to be a ask me anything format like I do every week. So we're going to just do that today. You can ask me anything, whether it's about the debate, whether it's about politics, whether it's about anything else, as long as it's, something appropriate and civil. So we're going to just do a ask me anything sort of uh, format today, guys. And then tomorrow we'll talk about the debate itself, like the content of the debate. But I'm not going to do this during the debate, which should start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. So adjust accordingly, whatever time zone you're in. Whether you're here in the US in one of the other time zones or if you're overseas. So, we have some people in the Atlantic time zone, Eastern time zone, um, Central time zone, Mountain time zone, Pacific time zone, Alaskan time zone, and Hawaiian time zone. A lot of time zones in the United States, right? And territorial United States. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do, guys. This is gonna be the pre-debate chat. So it doesn't have to be just about the debate. Like I said, if you want to ask me any sort of random questions, this is the day where you can ask me any sort of random questions. I do this every week for those who don't know. Every week I'll do like a day where you can just ask me random questions. So we're gonna do that before the debate. So because we don't know what's gonna happen, how it's gonna turn out, if Biden's gonna be telling Trump to shut up again like he did like 4 years ago. That didn't turn out well for him, did it? Kyrus, what's up? But yeah, so that's what we'll do. And no, those are not my books behind me because I know eventually someone's going to ask, and they're probably going to ask again. But those aren't my books behind me. I do own a Bible, but that is not it. I think mine is. I have to look through my bookshelf. I can't remember if it's a new international version or is a King James version. I do prefer the King James version just because I love Shakespearean English and I love biblical poetry, even if I'm not particularly convinced of any of the content within it. But yeah. LeBron just got drafted to the Lakers. I don't know what you mean, John. Working on Peanut Butter's back. He says, I think we need to find an old South African man and elect him. I saw a concert last night that's an old Zambian rock band, and the lead singer is 80 and had as much energy as James Brown in his prime. Speaking of old people who have a lot of energy, so shout out to my wife who just recently added a new province to her travel list. I think there's currently 81 or 82 provinces in the Philippines. For those who don't know, provinces are like our versions of states here in the United States. So they have, I think, as of last year, there's a new province, but she's not sure. So there's either 81 or 82. but she's been to 69 of those 81 or 82 provinces in the Philippines, and she just went to a new place where I'm not gonna give too much away, but part of it was in the MCU and an very important and well liked MCU film. That's all I'll say because I think she has some content that she's gonna let me put on my channel about that. She also saw one of the elders in where she visited, who's 107 years old and still does tattoos. For those who don't know, it's a lady named Wang Odd, Whang, first name, last name Odd, Od. She still does tattoos at her age though. She only does like her little 3 dot tattoo things, and then she lets her granddaughter or grandchildren do like the more intricate tattoo art. But the fact that she's 107 years old and still doing that at all is amazing. And I was gonna post the picture up on my in my community tabs, but my wife said she wanted to release a video first of her experience there, and then I can post some of her pictures. So I'm gonna abide by her wishes and let her give me a video that I can upload for you guys to see. And then later on, I'll probably post on my community tabs a picture of her with Miss Wang. And the only reason we decided to do that way is because I've never really had her on video just like full blast. It's always all the content I've had of her has been more like circumspect, where she's not really starring in the video. It's just her in the video. So she wants to release a video with her like front and center within it, and she will make her YouTube debut, and it'll be her in this province. So I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I can't tell you much more than that. But I will be uploading that, and she's going to redo those videos that she promised me 4 weeks ago that didn't turn out well because of the audio. Mercanoid Peanut Butter says they are built different. Albert Rodriguez says Albert Einstein said God's nature. What do you think about that? Um, so he sounds like he was parroting Baruch Spinoza, the philosopher from the modern era, who was a what do you call it? Um, it was actually one of the views that I used to hold before I became this full blown atheist. But when he says God is nature, he doesn't mean God in a psychological sense. He's saying that what we call nature is what we can call God. That force of nature is we can consider God. It's not a it's not so much a theological view as it is a naturalist view of nature. Basically, it's a naturalist. It's basically a naturalist saying that we can view like the mechanistic characteristics of nature as being God itself. It's called pantheism, and like I said, that came about with the Jewish philosopher from modern times. When I say modern, I mean the modern era of history, which is around the 1500s and 1600s. That's what we refer to as the modern era, because that is the turn of modern civilization, the 1500s and 1600s. After the end of after the end of the Middle Ages, we have the modern age. And Baruch Spinoza was actually excommunicated because of his pantheistic beliefs, and that was what Einstein meant. He, like many scientists, were relatively atheistic, so it was like a pantheist thought of his. I mean, he's made many sort of like symbolic mentions of God where he didn't mean God literally in the religious sense. He meant it in a more ceremonial sense. Like when he like when he when he had his skepticisms about the role of quantum mechanics and physics, he says God does not play dice. What he meant was that he didn't think that the fundamental nature of reality was probabilistic. So that's what I think about that. Gary says haircut looking fire. Thanks. Cut it myself. Kai Drigo says, "Hey yo, gang, what's up, Kai?" But no, no barber. I did it, my friend. I did it myself. I've been cutting my hair since college because it just became cheaper. Like, you know, everyone tries to cut costs when they're in college. You know, we're all eating ramen and hot dogs and going to the chow hall, and we're all equally broke in college, right? So we're all trying to save a buck. And going to the barbershop every 2 weeks was expensive when you're a college kid. So unless you're a rich college kid, which I wasn't, my parents didn't help me with college, so that's a whole different subject. But yeah, so sometimes I would have my friend cut my hair, and then I just bought my own barber kit and started learning from how he used to cut my hair. He showed me how to cut a Caesar, and I started doing the same, just doing it for myself, and I've been doing it ever since. Now, sometimes I do go to the barber shop, and when I do go, I hit the Dominican spot because the Dominicans will have you looking right. And I usually do when I go travel, I usually go get my hair professionally cut at this Dominican barber shop near me. But this I did myself. Eric is back. What's up? I haven't seen you in a while, my man. So are we ready to see two 80-year-olds argue over an hour? Absolutely we are. Absolutely. Guys, and if you don't mind, if someone can give me a reminder that it's 9 p.m., I definitely appreciate it, all right? Because I don't want to keep you guys from watching it, and I definitely want to watch it myself because tomorrow's live stream is going to be all about what they talked about on the debate. So if anyone doesn't mind, just give me a let me know that it hit 9 p.m., please. And I appreciate it. Oh, John said Bronny LeBron's son. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't even know. I I forgot that his sons are like kind of grown now. Yeah, I didn't realize. Just like Michael Jordan's sons years ago. But yeah, that's what's up. That's cool. So both father and son will be on the Lakers together. That's kind of dope, to be honest. Any tips for a health relationship? If you can ask me a specific question regarding healthy. I'm sorry. Any tips for a healthy relationship? I'm sorry. If you can make it a specific question, I can try, but I'll just tell you right now, I'm not a relation guru or relationship expert. Now, I will never give anyone any sort of like false advice like some YouTubers do. So I'll let you know if something's out of my realm of expertise. Like I know generally some advice just from a I guess psychological perspective, but I won't pretend to be any sort of relationship expert or relationship therapist because I'm not. Mafia Gorilla Dollar Sign says, "Do you like Andrew Tate?" Yes and no. I mean, so my issue with him is that he's black pill, and when I say black pill, I mean that black pillars see the same problems that red pill people do, but either they're just completely fatalistic about it, or they're cynical and will take advantage of others with that same information. So it's like Andrew will give a good diagnosis of the problem, but his prognosis. Give me a second, guys. Yes. I'll do it. It's just my bowl. Sorry about that, guys. uh, so anyway, please remind me when it hits 9 so we don't miss the openings of the debate. And if you guys haven't noticed, I got the ambient music back, the Chinese classical music. I'm not playing it too loudly because I don't want any copyright claims. So I got like two of them. They weren't copyright strikes. They just like copyright saying, "Hey, you're using copyrighted material, but you can use it just to let you know, but it's copyrighted." So there's no strikes. But I just want to be easy on that because I am trying to get monetized. So let me get back through the comments. Apologize for that, guys. Gary Ho says you have a Bible doesn't mean you are religious. I thought philosophers aren't religious. So again, well, Gary, you weren't you weren't at the beginning of the stream because I knew people were gonna say that. I was like, yes, that's not my Bible. This is not my room. So these aren't my books up here. Okay, but yes, I do own a Bible, and I own many books. I also own a Quran as well as a Bible. Does that make me religious? No, it makes me curious, intellectually curious, and I've read the entire Bible from front to back. I've done that with the Quran. I attempted to, but the Quran is not something that you can read like a book. It's more poetic, right? So I have like skimmed through the Quran, but it's not something that you could really read in the same sense that you can read most parts of the Bible. But I own both, and I got both while I was in college because usually there's student religious groups that, hand them out freely. And when I saw them, when they set up their little booths at the student union or one of the other or on one of the campus malls, I was like, hey, may I have one? They were like, sure. So I took one. Um, but are most philosophers are not religious? It depends. There are religious philosophers. Some religious philosophers are the ones who've attempted to make arguments proving the existence of God. None of them actually work, but that's a different story. But yeah, by and large, most philosophers are atheists or agnostics or something of the sort. So that much is true, but there are some religious philosophers, and one doesn't necessitate the other. So Bobby Burrell says Bronny James. So I'm guessing they have the same first name. So to distinguish the father from the son, most people refer to the son as Bronny to separate him from his father, right? Mafia Gorilla Dalsan says, "Do you like Future?" Um, I don't listen too much of his music, really. Um, I don't. I'm more of a East Coast rap person than rap from the South, except for a few notable exceptions. Tupac or Biggie, definitely. Biggie is my favorite rapper, and I said that I think he's still arguably the best rapper that's been around so far because he on everything that you can think of what would be a goat rapper, he checks that list like everything I could think of, and I'm not gonna take credit for that. I think it was another rapper who brought this up on the podcast Math Hoffa. So if you guys never watched Math Hoffa, great hip hop podcast to watch. Math Hoffa is a great battle rapper who has his own podcast. The format set up like at a barbershop, so it's like that sort of format where guys are just chit chatting in the barbershop. It's pretty cool, and I don't know what Big Man is talking about. Um, I'm not gonna get into the Kendrick or Drake thing. I think that's pretty dead. I think that's pretty moot at this point, right? But let's just say I think every Canadian rapper gets sunned when it comes to them going against someone from America. Uh, for instance, has anyone heard from Cannabis lately? I don't think so. Mercanoid Peanut Butter says, I hope Joe Biden gets reelected. If he doesn't, I'm going to miss his speeches of insane ramblings. I found Joe Biden far more entertaining than Trump. Really? I think Biden was more entertaining when he was the vice president because that's when all the little remember Do you remember all the dank Biden memes that came out back in like the early 2010s, right? Those were pretty those were pretty funny, but eh, he was I don't know. I think he was funny as vice president to me. But Trump is plenty entertaining himself. I mean, he's funny. He's savage. Like his insults is way more savage. So it would be more entertaining with Trump. Let's be honest. Plus, we know that half the country is going to be so pissed off either way. But when liberals are pissed, it's just so much funnier because there's this moral indignation to them that is distinct from the ire of those on the right when they're pissed about losing. So it's two different ways that both of them show how pissed off they are at the results of the elections. So anyway, Kara says, I was recently watching parts of your bug out bag stream. Didn't get to finish it all, but we'll try. Thanks, by the way. And had a question. What situation is it intended for, like a statewide national issue with war or... So I'll answer that question. So FEMA, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, actually recommends all family, all households have bug out bags. The most common reason is not for like doomsday prepping and sort of stuff like that, which most people might associate with bug out bags. It's actually pretty common. Like a lot of places you might have to bug out of your home because of like either floods or wildfires. Those are usually the two most common reasons people might have to bug out of their homes. Look at what happened in Hawaii last year when they had those wildfires, and the state told those people to stay in their homes, and those are the most of the ones who ended up as casualties. The people who bugged out and didn't listen to the state, they were the ones who made it to safety. So that's why you should have a bug out bag just for like emergencies. And yes, there's also people who create their bug out bags for possible um, financial crises or some sort of like political crises as well. But you don't have it doesn't have to be that deep for a bug out bag. Just doesn't have to be a political crisis or a financial crisis. It can just be for an emergency in case you have to get out of your home because of wildfires, floods, if you live in middle America, tornadoes, stuff like that. So that's why every household, should have one. Like everyone should create a bug out bag, and they're not too dissimilar from, like just backpacking. It's just that the difference between like backpackers and like a bug out bag is that the stuff in a bug out bag is going to be a little bit more tactical because you might encounter people that you have to deal with. So I think it's a good idea. Eden says, I am Sigma. Okay. Sigma Phi Beta? Second plane. um, Merkin Peanut Butter says that corn pop speech is the most funny and insane speech ever given by any politician. Don't forget his uncle was eaten by cannibals. Were you on last night when I did my when I did my live stream and I made fun of that? I don't know. I don't remember if you were on. I don't think you were, but I kind of made fun of that last night when we were talking about what can we predict about the debates and stuff like that. And I did like a little imitation of Biden talking about corn pop, which is just hilarious. GJC says evening. What's up, GJC? Nasruddin Kirk, hey, you're back. I haven't seen you in a while. Watching the debate? Not yet. I am staying glued. It's supposed to start at 9 p.m. my time, Nasruddin. So I was asking people to give me a reminder at 9 p.m. so that we can all get off and watch it for everyone who's going to watch. And then tomorrow's tomorrow's live stream is going to be all about what happened during the debates. Okay. Albert says, are you following the WNBA at all? No. As a matter of fact, I just went to my cousin's house up the street yesterday, and they had on the WNBA, and I was telling him, I was like, man, I said I haven't watched the WNBA since if they first started back in like, was it 98, 99, something like that when they started. And I was like, I remember people like Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops and all those people. Like to me, those were like the first women that started the WNBA. To me, they were legends. Like I like them just as much as the dudes when they first started. But now it's just completely lackluster. And I don't really watch professional sports anyway, other than sometimes I'll catch my alma mater when they're having a championship game, like an NCAA game, where they go to one of the bowls, like one of the football team, if they go to one of the bowls, like the Orange Bowl or something like that. But otherwise, I really don't watch professional sports like that or college sports. Occasionally, I watch boxing though, like boxing or MMA or Muay Thai. Um, but not really um, a fan with when it comes to pro sports. Leon says, "What's parallel to the Bible?" Uh, you talking about this? Says back to Eden. I think that's what you're talking about. Or you talking about the other Bible? Because there's another Bible on this end. So, but they're not mine, guys. This is not my room. I'm not even home. I'm staying with grandparent. Elvis says barbers are nosy. Brian says, Whom are you going for, and why?" So I'm going to vote Trump, and the reason being is that I think that he has, I think his platform, his policies are more in line with what a lot of moderate black men are in favor of. So that's in a nutshell. That's why. And I just hate. I just I'm so like annoyed at Democratic leaders right now. I'm like just actively want some of them removed. So that's pretty much it. Albert says definitely going to watch the debates. I have the TV on right now. Yeah, I was just checking. So right now they're just doing they're like all the commentators are just like basically speculating on the candidates actually talk. And I was saying yesterday, travesty that they didn't include RFK Jr. within that debate. Like neither the Republicans nor the Democrats wanted RFK Jr. to participate. And I think that's a shame. And I think it'd have been actually more entertaining having the three of them intermingle with each other. Like I said, the way they did back in the 90s when you had Bill Clinton, George H. Bush, which is, Bush Sr., and Ross Perot. Like, I think those were some good debates back in the day for those who remember that. And Mo Poor says Hillary Clinton's supposed to be the surprise third debater. Nah, she's not. No, they're not. How is she going to debate? She's not a candidate, my friend. You're not going to debate if you're not a candidate. And I don't know what someone is writing. I don't read Farsi, so I don't know what that's written in Farsi meaning. Lawrence says much love from Hawaii, brother. Appreciate it, Lawrence. Thank you. Black Bear said what up. J.A.C says rappers beefing these days is just unnecessary. This isn't the '90s grow up. Well, these are new rappers. These aren't the same old ones beefing because that would definitely be immature with like some of these 50, 60-year-old rappers still beefing with each other. But these are, younger rappers doing it. I mean, it's always been sort of immature, but I understand. Like, there was genuine animosity between some of these guys. At first, I thought, to be honest, though, I did think it was all staged. But after seeing the back and forth, I can tell there was a little bit of genuine animosity between those guys. But originally, I thought all that J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, um, The Weeknd, all that stuff. I thought all that stuff was being staged just to like you know um, get more sales. So, guys, if you ask me a question in another language, I can't. I don't know it. I'm sorry. I'm not versed in Spanish. I don't know Farsi. You're gonna have to use your translation app and put it in English for us to understand, for either me or the other people in the chat room. Crazy Muda named Ice Cube says my daughter stole from me. I confront her. That's probably a topic for another day, my friend. Tommy says greetings from Slovakia. I'm just stopping by to spread some love and positivity. Also to hit the like button so I can help with the algorithm. Have a blessed day, y'all. Appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you. Adam Prod says, "What's your favorite food?" Um, I always, this is like probably the third time someone asked me that. I think General Soul Chicken is probably like my favorite. I know some people think that's kind of basic, but I love General Soul Chicken. Also buffalo wings, but I think General Soul Chicken is my favorite. Lena says, sick of politically illiterate Americans. This country is degenerate. Well, if there's any consolation, then it probably isn't, Lena. If you go to every country, they have the same thing. That's one of the weaknesses of democracy is that politically uninformed people can have outsized influence on the outcome of who leads the country. This is why, since the time of Plato, people have argued for some sort of newocracy. A newocracy is like like Greek term meaning like a government of the knowing. So, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I hope you can hear me. My volume was all the way down. Apologize for that. Didn't realize, like, when I had to go do something, didn't realize the volume was all the way down and no one corrected me. Riley says, "Can you dunk?" Not really. I don't play basketball like that. Not since high school or first couple of years of college. Whom are you referring to, Lena? Are you referring to me? Because, again, if you bothered to come into the chat room earlier, you would have known that these are not my books. This isn't even my room. And if you've even bothered to look at my content in the past, you know that I'm not even religious. And there's nothing Christian and fascist, that's not even, you're like literally making up terms. I've never heard the term Christo-fascist. Like, what does that even mean in within that context? So, not sure what you mean. Again, not Christian, not Christian, not fascist. Um, these aren't even my books. I just happen to be in this room that where I am live streaming. Maybe before you make assumptions about people, you should do a little investigation first. Maybe you look at my previous videos and say, oh, this guy tends to be very scientific and nerdy. So, again, Lena, before you make assumptions, go ahead, look at the other content on my channel, and you'll realize there's not one video in which I talk about preaching religious issues. These are not my books. Um, Currently, what I'm reading is The Psychology of Batman and Meaning and Mind, a book about the philosophical arguments by Jerry Fodor. Those aren't religious books. They aren't fascist books. I don't really even think you know the terms that you're using. You sound like a moron. I try to be nice, but since you wanted to say stuff and making unwarranted assumptions, I'm just gonna make my own warranted assumption that you're a fucking idiot. And if you keep on, I'm gonna ban you from the channel. Since you don't recommend this channel anyway, you can go suck my dick. Anyway, Mercanoid Peanut says, do you think Brittany Griner is a woman? I have a hard time believing it. First of all, her voice is deep as hell. She's built like a man. So there's a video of her playing completely shirtless. That's a man. I haven't heard of anything, but she's, I mean, she looks like a lot of, she's built like a lot of female basketball players I knew back in college. They look kind of masculine. I mean, to go pro or even semi-pro in college, you tend to have that look. Most female basketball players I've seen can tend to be sort of masculine. So, um, Merkin says, I heard from CNBC the surprise debater was going to be Alex Jones to spice things up. Guys, there's not going to be any surprise debater. The debate is between two presidential candidates. Why would there be any surprise debater who is not one of the presidential candidates? They've already disallowed RFK Jr., who is a viable candidate. He would be a third party candidate and a potential dark horse for the election. He's not there. There's no surprise debate. I don't know where you guys are getting this information. Alex Jones is facing his own legal issues. He's not running for office. Hillary's not currently running for office. The people who are also running for office have not been allowed to participate. RFK Jr., Cornel West, and about 4 other candidates. So, Christy Reed races, how's life? It's going it's going okay. Riley says, yo, from Australia, it's 10:47 a.m. Thanks for the time. Gear James says, don't get snotty, dude. I can do whatever the fuck I want on my own channel, bitch. Kevin says Lena's trolling. Yeah, she is. She. It's probably a dude. It's probably a dude that wears tampons. Congress says so many things are fascist nowadays. The person saying it, the person calling themselves Lena Kyrus, doesn't even know literally the terms that they're using. They created the term Christo-fascist. I've never even heard that term. It's like someone literally made up to sound clever and couldn't define it if their life depended on it. Jordan Andrews says, I subscribe. Thanks, Jordan. American Oil Peanut says, wait, Jared from Subway has a book. Okay. Kevin said he's definitely Lena's definitely a dude. Probably. Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. I think you're referring to Brittany Griner, aren't you? Um, I mean, if Caitlin Clark looks more manly to me than Brittany Griner, Brittany looks more manly now that her braids, her dreads off. But I mean, like I said, if you guys ever went to college and you seen the female basketball players and the female volleyball players, most of them look pretty masculine. So her looks are like pretty normal to me for like how a lot of those female basketball players look. They look masculine. my cousin played basketball, and she's like 6 foot, 6'1". So JP says he's got Snow Bunny Lover written all over his face. So you're gone, because if you ever watch my channel, you know whom I'm married to. And I'm just gonna start removing you people. I don't know why I even bother to give most of you the benefit of the doubt. But that's done. Do I listen to MF Doom? No, I don't. One Life Man says, why don't they let a female be a president? Because there's none that's currently running for president. Well, actually, yes, there is. There's two that's running for president, but they're both. Um, well, one is running for the Green Party, and the other one is running as a Democrat. But the Democrats aren't allowing anyone to run as a Democratic contender to Biden. So she's bound to lose. That's why RFK decided to run as an independent, because when he originally tried to run as a Democrat, they also did the same thing to him. Um, but if you remember One Life Man, or I'm guessing you're not American, I'm almost 100% positive of that. Hillary won the popular vote back in 2016, but she lost the electoral vote. So, c'est la vie. And there's been many female presidential candidates in the past. There's people like Shirley Chisholm back in the 70s. Kara says, after you mentioned Cornel West, I decided to watch an interview of him on The Young Turks in a prelude to one of his lectures. I love the way he talks. Yeah, most people like him. And like I said, he's a trained philosopher under the analytic philosopher Richard Rorty. So I have a bit of respect for him. Plus, he's a pretty jovial type of guy, and you guys may have seen him in some of the Matrix movies, Matrix 2 and 3. So Kevin calls him Joanna Man. That's old school. I was just push like everybody. The debate's going to start in 7 minutes. Thanks, guys. Yeah, because when the debate starts, I'm gonna get off so that we can all watch. For those who I'm gonna watch, but I am, and then we're gonna do a live stream tomorrow so we can all talk about it. Kevin says, y'all, you guys need to really get crypto. That's why I'm hopping in lives, and this is the most educated one I've seen. My problem with crypto, though, Kevin, I mean, if it works for you, that's fine. I personally wouldn't recommend it to people who aren't wealthy, because crypto is is more or less um, a digital version of a pyramid scheme. And if you didn't get into it at the beginning, it's not going to really benefit most people, unless, like I said, they have like millions to play with. And most people don't have millions to play with. So um, I don't really recommend crypto for like novices, or even like just the average investor. Kevin says the dollar is about to start dropping and assets will rise, and Americans will suffer if you don't have your money and assets. You will be cooked. The, but crypto isn't an asset. It's it's a decentralized digital currency, which can't really be used other than like on the black market and some other sorts of things. Um, Also, the world economy is based on the U.S. dollar standards, so um, it's it is good to have assets, but I would recommend people just um, do their due diligence and look into conventional forms of investment like mutual funds and ETFs, stuff like that. Especially when you're talking about like beginners into like investing and stuff like that, like the big index funds, stuff like that, like Nasdaq and all sorts of things, the S&P 500. And if other people, and then if people want like tangible sorts of assets that they can actually keep on them, then you can always look into like um, precious metals like gold and silver. But I don't recommend crypto anyone. I think it's dubious at best and a scam at its worst. So, um, but like I said, if people have thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to play with, go right on ahead. But I don't think that's the average person. Mercanoy says, I tried crypto and lost a crack house I owned in Detroit. This is real testimony. Mm-mm-mm. 2 minutes to the debate. Thanks, Albert. So, guys, I'm about to go in a few minutes. If there's any like last minute um, stuff, you can leave it in the comment section after this is uploaded, and I always check the comment section of each live stream. So just put it there, and I'll see it. Yeah, I'm not going to recommend crypto on my channel, like I said, um, unless I'm being sponsored by some um, company. I'm not going to promote something that I know is financially dubious to most people. Now, some people are savvy that they can handle crypto the way some people can handle day trading. But like I said, the average person is not savvy with those sorts of things, so I wouldn't recommend it. So anyway, guys, gonna go. It is debate time. It's 9:02 p.m. here, where I am on the East Coast. So gonna end this, and if you guys have any other comments or questions, just put in the comment section, and I'll catch it, and I can comment that way. But tomorrow we're going to talk fully about the debate. All right. Mm-mm-mm. And someone saying taking sponsors is bad. No, that's what all YouTubers want to get monetized and have sponsorships. That's a part of the whole digital content creation business. And that's why TC got blocked, because that person is a moron. So, all right, guys, talk to you later. Enjoy the debate. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Thanks. And again, these aren't mine.